Welcome to the very first episode of the Unskilled Commander. My name is Brian, and I am the Unskilled Commander. So, in case you didn't see the introductory video on this channel, what this series is basically about is that I play a format of Magic the Gathering called Commander. It's a lot of fun. It's a multiplayer format designed for casual play, having fun with your friends, laughing and having snacks, having a good time. I have a bunch of friends that I play with, but they're all better. Their decks are really well built, they know the intricacies of Magic, they play a little better, and while it's always fun playing with them, I kind of always lose. And so, if any of you guys play any kind of games, video games, tabletop, you know that breaking point where it's like, yeah, we're having a lot of fun, but if you keep losing over and over and over again, fourth or fifth game, it's not quite as enjoyable. Because you don't need to win every single game, or even half the games, but you do want to kind of win a little bit. So what this series is about is I decided to try and play test all my decks against each other to try and see where the weaknesses are, where the gaps are, what needs to be done to try and make the decks stronger and faster so that I can compete with my friends a little bit better and win a few more games. What I thought was, well, if I'm doing this anyway, why not record it and put it online, because I might not be the only one like this. Some of you out there might be new players or players like me. I've been playing for about 4 years, and I'm not, bad. I have a pretty solid grasp of how to build a deck, but like I said, I don't optimize. I don't try and get to that competitive CDH, or well, that's what CDH means, competitive EDH, or competitive commander, basically. They're both the same terms for the same thing. So I don't really want to get out of 10, 1 through 10, and a level 9 or 10 deck, but I'd kind of like to be more than the basic 6s. I think most of my decks are 5s, maybe even, and maybe some low 7s, depending on if they get the right cards in the right order. So if you're like me, I thought it might be helpful if you can see someone else that's going through the same things, watch what I'm doing. I'll try and talk through my decisions of why I'm playing the cards and responding the way I am, and together maybe we can get better. Hopefully I'll find the flaws in my decks and slowly upgrade them, and you can see them, and maybe that'll help you with your decks. Or even you can talk in the comments and be like, Brian, there's this card that would be perfect for your Squirrels deck because it does this, and it's it would really help speed the deck up. Or here's a card that'd be perfect for your mirror deck that accelerates card draw, something like that. So we can kind of help each other and just see how it goes. Obviously, I don't really expect anyone to watch these videos because there's so much Magic content out there, and really good Magic content out there. Part of the Unskilled Commander is that I don't really have any editing software, and I don't have special effects, and it's not going to be fancy. And when I stumble over my words, they're just going to be in there. I'm not going to be able to edit them out and re-talk again. See, like right there, re-talk. That's intelligent. But you see what I'm saying? It's just going to be me having fun, trying to get better, and you guys can come along for the ride and maybe help each other out. So what we're going to do is I have 4 decks started up. Now, in my introductory video, I did say I was going to be doing 3, but unfortunately the, patchwork way I had to rig the camera and get everything wouldn't allow me to have all 3 decks laid out like I normally did. I had to put them together in this, pod format of how you actually would play across from each other. And it was basically, well, it's kind of dumb to have 3 decks and then have an empty space here. I might as well just toss the 4th deck in. Hopefully I'm going to try and make sure it doesn't drag the games out too long, but we'll see what they are. And again, right there, the YouTube algorithms and all that, you're not it buries videos that are more than 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and these are going to be a lot more than that. So whatever, if I get 5, 10 subscribers, or you guys viewing and interacting and saying, hey, let's do this, that'd be cool. But I'm not trying to be an influencer, not trying to hit the, content creator mark. I'm just trying to have some fun and get better at this game so I can enjoy it with my friends more. So let's go ahead and look over what we've got going for today. For the first match for Unskilled Commander, we've got Gnostro, Voice of the Crags, blue, red, white, and one other. So there's a 4-drop or 4 CMC, 4 mana value, however you want to say it. I don't really concern myself with that. He's a 3/3. He says, tap, choose 1. X is the number of spells you've cast this turn. Scry X. Voice of the Crags can deal X damage to target creature, or you gain X life. So if you play like 2-3 spells in a turn on your second main phase, you go ahead and tap him after things have been done, and you can gain life, draw some cards, or sorry, no, a scry, so you can set up the next couple turns at least on your draws. Maybe deal damage to a creature that's kind of getting in your way, or gain some life. One side note, I am going to kind of assume that you guys know the basics and the rules of how to play Magic. Perhaps in the future I may make some, Magic basics along the way in terms of like explaining turn orders and stuff like that, and how, main phase 1, combat, main phase 2. But again, I'm not an expert in this, guys. I'm not a judge. Please don't take everything I say as law, especially if I start talking about the interactions between cards. If I'm not 100% certain, I could very well be wrong. It might be like, oh, that's not how that spell resolves. It would do it differently, and let me know in the comments if it's, a way I didn't realize or something like that, because that'll help me learn. But so I don't want you guys to think that I'm going to be like full on teaching Magic or anything like that. This is just playing through a game, a fictitious game, or a real game, however you want to consider this, and go from there. This is actually my Mer deck, so Mer tokens. That was just the Voice of the Crags was the choice because of the 3 colors, because that's what I wanted the Mers to be, and that was the only 3 color commander level card I had that kind of made sense of what it did. Next up, over here, we've got Lozan Dragon's Legacy. I always call it Lindsay Lohan, just because, being stupid. It is a red, a blue, and 3 others to cast. It's a 4/2 flying dragon that says whenever you cast an adventure spell or a dragon spell, Dragon's Legacy deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to any target that isn't a commander. So this deck, obviously, and I built these decks, most of them, with what I had in my Magic collection. Now, some of them I have been upgrading over time. Dragon's Legacy is actually one of my newer decks, so I didn't get any new cards for this one. This was built solely on what I had. Mir, I kind of built combo. I built it and bought cards for it because I didn't have that many Mir. The next 2 I have, well, actually this one as well is a brand new deck that I haven't bought cards for. This one I have. So we're gonna see. So again, it'll be the interactions. How are these new decks doing versus the older ones? And even then, these older ones aren't just instant like turn 4 wins or something like that, because that's just not how I build. But for this one, it's designed to play a bunch of big cost dragons and then just deal direct damage to players' faces, and then also have a bunch of flying dragons that I can also swoop in with. So hopefully, knock out a couple players that way. Again, a 5-drop, which means 5 mana to play. It's not going to come out super quick, and then most dragons are expensive. So this deck isn't very fast, as you'll see that a lot of my decks aren't super fast, and that is a big flaw that I have to work on. Next, over here, we have Chatterfang, Squirrel General, a 3/3 squirrel that has Forest Walk, which means that as long as my opponent has a forest, Chatterfang is unblockable. And he says if 1 or more tokens would be created under my control, that many tokens plus 1/1 green, that many green squirrel tokens would also be created. So basically, if I make 2 tokens, Chatterfang makes 2 squirrel tokens in addition to the 2 whatever tokens are being made. And he also says you can pay a black and sacrifice X squirrels, and target creature gets plus X minus X until end of turn, where X is the number of squirrels you sacrificed. And finally, over here, we've got Mince and Boo, Timeless Heroes. He is a Planeswalker commander that comes in with loyalty of 3, and whenever he comes in, or on your upkeep, you make a Boo legendary hamster creature token that is trample and haste and is a 1/1. But his abilities are you could then +1 Mince and Boo to give any creature that has trample and or haste +3/+3 counters, or 3 +1/+1 counters on it, excuse me. That does matter, like the verbiage of that does matter. And then you can subtract 2 from his loyalty and sacrifice a creature. When you do, he deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. So I could sacrifice a creature and deal straight damage to someone or blow up a creature. But the cool thing, in addition to that, if that creature was a hamster, you can also draw that many cards. So a nice way with this is like bring out Boo, pump him up 2 or 3 times, you throw him at somebody's face, and then draw 7, 10 cards, and then on your next upkeep, he comes right back. This was originally supposed to be an Elf Goblin token deck, and I still want it to be that, but Mince and Boo was basically the only commander that I could have for green and red that kind of made sense because it also created the token. I have since found out that Mince and Boo is kind of broken. He's like pretty solid because, again, as soon as you play it, you have a 4/4 with trample and haste, and then that just keeps getting bigger on all of your turns if you want, and just keep swinging in. Now, the only downside is that that Boo, this little token guy, doesn't count as a commander, so it doesn't give commander damage. So that is the only real setback, because even though you're smacking with trample into people over and over, getting stronger and stronger, you can't rely on that 21 commander damage to beat them quickly. So that is something to get around, and that's a good reason why there's other tokens in there, and hopefully I can get some token generators and some doubling effects like Doubling Season and Primal Vigor and those kind of things. So, having set up the game then, I think we're going to go... Originally, with 4 players, as it were, it kind of screwed up the way I was going to name everything, but we're just going to go clockwork order, even though these ones are facing away from you guys. Brian 1, Brian 2, Brian 3, Brian 4. So we're going to roll a 4-sided die, see who goes first. All right, Brian 3, if you gets to go first. If you get that joke from like Spider-Man No Way Home, it's like, yeah, Peter 3. So okay, already drew the hands. Now, quick side note, with these, I don't try and optimize my plays. Obviously, with the mulligans, my group of friends, the mulligans, you don't have to discard down or anything like that. You just want a playable hand. And by that definition, basically means 3 lands. If you've got 3 lands, that's it. Use it, you're done. You can't, ideally you should be going for a good opening hand, not optimized, not turn 1 into Soul Ring, into this, into 3 other things. But, you do want to have your mana curve go where it's like, okay, you've got 3 lands and maybe a 1-drop and a 2-drop, or a 2-drop and a 3-drop, so that you can play something your first couple turns and hopefully draw into some more land and considering you playing your bigger cards. But I basically stop when I hit 3 lands because it's playable. Let's get the game going. Speaking of which, let's get the game going. So, draw for turn. I'm going to play a command tower. Taps for 1 mana of any color that's in your commander's identity, which is blue and red. I will tap it for red to play Dragon Master Outcast. He's a human shaman, 1/1. But the real reason he's in here is because at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 6 or more lands, put a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Now, for those of you that, understand Magic really well, and you're probably already saying, that's a bad card for this deck or something. It's good because, obviously, you're getting 5/5 flying dragons. Never a bad thing. But those dragons will not trigger the commander's ability because you're not casting them. They're just coming in, and they don't have a converted mana cost or a mana value, which is what he needs to do direct damage. And it's also, you have to have 6 or more lands. So he's not even going to be, anything special until like turn 6, unless I were to ramp. With blue and red, that's kind of tricky to get lands in terms of ramp. So I have to basically just leave him and almost protect him in order to get to a point where he's really going to do things. And anybody that knows Magic will understand that, so they're going to probably swing into me because I'm not going to chump block with him right off the bat because I want him to survive. So that's my play. Nothing, I can't do combat because he's Summoning Sickness. Main phase 2, end turn, pass step. End step, pass turn. See, editing, can't do it. So, over here, we've got Brian 1, draw, and I'm going to play Necroblossom Snarl. This comes in tapped unless I reveal a swamp or a forest from my hand, which I can do, but I don't have a 1-drop, so there's really no point in it coming in untapped anyway, so there's no rush. Pass turn. Draw a card. We're going to go play a Rogue's Passage and tap that into a Soul Ring. Turn 1 Soul Ring, get them, as most of you probably know if you're players. But that's all I can do. So good turn one, but not your, the crazy kind. Passing turn. Boom. Draw your card. We're going to go ahead and play an Urza's Power Plant. Nothing else I can do. Pass turn over to Brian 3. Going to turn 2. And trust me, I'm not going to keep track of the turns because I'm going to forget, and doesn't really matter all that much. And we're going to try and see if I can, like I said, I don't want these to be like 2-hour videos, so we're going to keep moving. All right, so draw a card for turn. And do I have a dragon? I do. So I'm going to play Temple of the Dragon Queen. As Temple of the Dragon Queen enters the battlefield, you may reveal a dragon card from your hand. It enters the battlefield tapped unless you reveal the dragon this way, or unless you control the dragon. As it enters the battlefield, you choose a color, and it can make 1 mana of that color. So here's the thing, though. Again, I don't have a 2-drop right now, so I'm not going to reveal a dragon and, show like what kind of dragon I have to the rest of the table early on. Keep that, close to my vest. But I'm going to go ahead and declare red. So, let me see here. Now Temple of the Dragon Queen taps for 1 red. Okay, now I can go to combat. I don't know that I really need to, but then again, the whole board's open, so you might as well try and attack somebody, right? And unless somebody has haste, they're not even going to hit you on the crackback, as it's called. So, let's see. And I also want to try and pretend like I don't know the other decks, and I pretend like I don't know what everyone else has in their hands, because it's all just me. So nobody really, based on their commander, sounds like too much of a crazy threat. So I'm just going to go ahead and swing into Chatterfang's commander. So we will go down to 39. And then I will go ahead and pass turn. Riveting stuff, right? My subscription numbers are rocketing up this very second. All right, so I draw a card. This untaps. Then I draw a card because that's kind of stuff order matters. So it's untap, upkeep, draw. So then I will play a forest for turn. And I don't believe I have any significant 2-drops, but I do. I will tap, I just drew it, for a green and 1 other to play Squirrel Sovereign. A 2/2. Other squirrels get +1/+1. So he doesn't buff himself, but he buffs other squirrels. And something to consider, he says other squirrels you control. So if someone else is playing squirrels, they don't get to buff, just you. Pass turn. So untap, upkeep, draw, because, that stuff matters. So then we are going to play Temple of Abandon. It comes in tapped, but when it does, you get to scry 1. So, I don't know if that's really super important right now. So I think we're going to want lands and or mana rocks, so I will put that on the bottom. I have 3 colorless mana. Unfortunately, I do not have any colorless spells or anything that's really 3 mana. So I hope I'll have to review this one, because again, this is my first attempt at an episode, so I will have to learn about voice volume and what you guys can hear clearly and what you can't. So please forgive me for that. Hopefully I will adapt for episode 2. So all I did was a play to land, can't do anything else, pass turn. So then it's untap, upkeep, draw. Playing a land for turn. Nothing with a 2-drop, unfortunately, so I'm going to go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. So, now for balance, we've got a command tower that can tap for blue or red. This taps for red, so I will play an island so that I can have all of my colors easily usable. I will then tap 1, 2, 3 for a colorless spell, because, of course, Alpine Unicorn. It's a 1/2, but most importantly, it tapped for 1 mana of any color. And of course, like what I'm trying to do is kind of ramp, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3. Now I have 4 on turn 3. And unbeknownst to the other me's, I did draw a land. So theoretically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on my next turn, I can play my commander, which is essentially one turn early for the mana cost, so that's good. Again, I can go to combat. Now he's got a blocker, so I will go ahead and smack Minsk and Boo over here. Down to 39. You guys are on 39 timers. Pass time. Untap, upkeep, draw. Okay, so I have a forest, I have one that taps for both, so we'll balance it out with a swamp. Now, I have 3 mana and my commander is a 3-drop. I could cast that, but because of currently, the board state's not really impressive. Again, that is something to consider. I've got 4 decks, all mine, the board state's still not very impressive at turn 3. Some of my friends, I can guarantee you, would have multiple creatures out at this point, and, you know, a couple extra permanents beyond what I have. So, you know, it's got to be about speed, unfortunately. Speed, card draw, and answers tends to be the 3 most important things for a deck. I'm sorry, I lowered my volume there a bit. But so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to tap 3 and play Nissa's Pilgrimage. Search your library for up to 2 basic forest cards, reveal them, and put 1 on the battlefield, the rest into your hand. It also has spell mastery. If there were 2 or more instants and sorceries in your graveyard, you could search for 3 basic forests. I obviously do not have that, so I'm going to get 2 basic forests. 1 and 2. Then shuffle up my deck. Then one of those forests is going to go onto the battlefield. The other one goes into my hand. Boom. I personally don't like hyper shuffle where it's like, oh, shuffle your library and you shuffle like 15 times. 1 on the battlefield, 1 in my hand. I basically just shuffle once. Maybe that's a detriment, maybe that's good. It's hard to tell. Okay, so I have a creature. He's ready to attack. He's a 2/2. I could hit one of these guys, but that would then leave me open to that, and then I would get smacked. So it's probably a good idea to just hold fast right now. I'm ramping a little bit, which will hopefully allow me to play my commander and maybe something else next turn, or at least get it ready for later in the game. Gonna go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, no upkeep triggers, draw a card. Okay, so good and bad, I am not drawing lands. I have a bunch of 4-drops, so I can play things, but like I said, not optimal right now. But I'm going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, right now, see, good point. Right now, I in fact cannot pass my commander because I only have red or green. I need red and green. But what I can cast is Wren's Run Packmaster. Oh, wait, no, I can't, huh? See? Unskilled Commander. The problem with this is Champion an Elf. When this creature enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless you exile another elf you control. So we're going to have to take that back. I cannot, in fact, do that. There's no point. So I really can't do anything specific. But I have 1 more card I can play. That's a 4-drop. This might not be the best time, but here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to tap for red and then 3 others to play Tectonic Rift. Because Chatterfang over here is ramping, I'm going to go ahead and blow up the Necro Blossom Snarl and put him back to where he should be with land drops. Now, creatures without flying can't block this turn, but that doesn't really help me any. And see, normally this deck isn't so bad, but right now, no mana rocks whatsoever, and other than Soul Ring, and not getting any lands. I need to start getting some lands real quick if this is gonna work. So, see, we're learning stuff already. Well, okay, maybe not learning, but we're seeing the effects. So, pass turn, untap, upkeep, draw. We're gonna go ahead and play Tomb of the Spirit Dragon. Then I'm gonna tap 1, 2, 3 for Darksteel Ignite. So now I'm trying to ramp a little bit over here in colorless. Get a bit of ahead of the mana curve so I can start playing some stuff. But again, still open, and we're on turn, what, 3 now? Not great. Need to get some low-cost mirror or something out there. Pass turn. Untap. Upkeep, draw. Okay, we're going to play that mountain we talked about last turn. And we're going to go ahead and tap 1. So blue and a red. Then 1, 2, 3 to play my commander. Good old Lindsay Lohan, Dragon's Legacy. Now, because I have an extra creature out, I can go ahead and swing with him. So I'm going to go ahead and swing for 1 damage at Brian number 1 because he still has 40 life. So now everybody is down to 39 except for Brian 3. Oh, wait a second. See? I already messed up who's who. It was so much easier when they were in a line because I just start from the left and it was that. But whatever, it's not like it actually matters. Okay, so I attacked. Main phase 2. Nothing, no kind of triggers or anything. Pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Hey, thanks, jerk, for blowing up my land. Yeah, no problem, man. We're buddies. Play a forest for turn. And then we're going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3 to play Chatterfang. Now, similar to what happened before, I now have an extra blocker, so Squirrel Sovereign can attack. Not too much necessary because the person I want to attack is over here, but it got a 4-2 blocker. Now, these two guys currently aren't doing anything to be a threat, so I don't really want to attack them just to hit them for no reason. Obviously, the point of this game is to win. You want to attack your opponents, but there's no need to just like pound someone. Like over here, he's not getting lands. Over there, still not getting enough, to play anything. You want people to play Magic and have fun. You want them to actually get a chance to see their cards and play some stuff. So killing somebody just because they're getting mana screwed or whatever and getting them out of the game early and then continuing to play for another 20, 30 minutes while they sit there, it's kind of rude and unnecessary. So I'm going to swing Squirrel Sovereign at Lohan. Now, the question is, I can block and kill it, but it would also destroy my Dragon's Legacy. So that's the point of attacking, because I'm going to go ahead and let that through. So now, person that was at max health is now the lowest health out of the table. But that's all I can do over here with Chatterfang, so I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. See, I still did not get a land. That is not good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 cards in hand. I do not have to discard down, especially if I play something, but we're not looking too great. Now, here's something that sounds like a good idea. We're going to tap for green and one other to play Return to Nature. Instant card. Now, instants, you want to use them at the opportune time. Playing them on main phase 1, not really what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to wait for a special little trigger, like, oh, in response to you doing this thing, I'm going to play this instant card. But who cares, I'm going to blow up Artifact, destroy target artifact. I'm going to blow up your Old Pine Unicorn because you're playing Crazy Dragons and I don't need you to make more Crazy Dragons faster. So that's cool and all, but still not doing much. He did some things this game, but he's not showing much. So, pass turn. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Okay, that's interesting. We're going to play Ragrin Triome. So one of the Triomes, it comes in tapped. They can tap for one of any of those 3 colors. Now, I have some options. And the question is precisely what do we want to do? We want to get some creatures on the battlefield. I think that's probably our most important thing. Interesting. We can do that. Okay, well, let's try that. I've never tried this before. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 to play Mere Welder. Imprint. Exile a target artifact card from a graveyard, and then he has all activated abilities of cards exiled with it. Now, he has Summoning Sickness, so I cannot use this right now, but I'm thinking use it to grab the Alpine Unicorn out of Lozanne's graveyard. Now that one would be able to tap for mana, which could help, of any color. So now I also have a blocker, a 1/4, which isn't too shabby. The big butt will help protect me from other creatures right now. And we will go ahead and pass turn. But now you'll see part of the problem with these decks and what I'm facing when I play with others is while there's some interaction, I have 4 decks and no one's pulling ahead right now. It's still early. It is. It's still on, turn 4 or 5. But, I haven't missed a land drop here. So it's turn 5. But turn 5, there should be a little bit more going on. Someone should be like, ooh, we got to deal with so-and-so. Or at least that's how it is in my main play group. It doesn't have to be that way. There are many styles of playing Commander. There is competitive, there's casual, there's the borderline between the two of them, which is where my friends tend to fall for the most part. I'm casual, trying to get up to that borderline. So this is probably an okay game. Like some of you may be thinking, that seems fair, it seems fine. It gives a couple more turns before it goes crazy. And I agree. But at the same time, from what I'm used to, this is super slow. Somebody needs to pull ahead and start kicking some butt. So let's see what we got here. I'm going to draw a card. Now, we blew up the extra thing, so I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana right now to do anything with. So, you know what? I'm just going to try and get ahead on land against, or mana, so we're going to go put a Sears Lantern in. Sears Lantern, not Sears the store. So it's just taps for colorless mana, but you can pay 2 and tap it to scry 1, so that can help me try and get some fixing that way. So, we are now going to combat. I now have a 4/2 flyer that is going to be commander damage, and Shatterfang over here is the only one going and doing stuff, being a little even remotely scary, and not even really scary at all, but remotely doing anything, and they smacked me for 2. So, guess what? 4 damage coming at you, and it is a commander. So I'm going from 39 down to 35. And we're going to go ahead and put 4 commander damage right there. Now there's nothing else I can do, so we're going to pass turn. All right, starting stuff, eh? Gonna come at me. Gonna have to deal with you, dragon boy. So, we've already got 3/4, so I'm going to try and balance out a bit with a swamp. So, this will be good. We're going to go and tap 1, 2, 3, 4 to play Acorn Harvest. Put 2 1/1 green squirrel tokens into play. Now, here's the fun part. Because of my commander, I'm going to also put 2 1/1 squirrel 1/1 squirrel tokens onto the battlefield. And this card does have flashback, so I could pay another green and 1 and pay 3 life to do it again, which I may very well do here, because we're going to want to try and overrun the board. Now these all have Summoning Sickness, and they are currently, thanks to Squirrel Sovereign, 2/2s. That's not too shabby, right? 4 2/2s when most people don't have too much to block with. We're starting to get there. Now, you do not have a forest, you do not have a forest, you do not have a forest, so no one has Forest Walk right now. And he is a 4/4 currently, so I could swing in here to try and, put some smackdown on him. He could block with the Dragon Outcast, chump block it, or I could take 4, but it would be for Commander. So do I want to do that? I think I do want to put the pressure on. So I will attack you for 4. Now the question is, what would this version of Brian do in a situation where he's not playing all the decks? We are at 1, 2, 3, 4 lands, I do not have any more lands in my hand, so I would have to draw lands, top deck them on the next 2 turns before he would even, so 3 turns from now, before he would even really come into play. However, that's still a really good effect. We're not too sure if we want to let that go. So, fair's fair. I think I will take the 4 and be like, yeah, sure, I hit you for 4, you hit me for 4, and I'm just going to do it again in flying anyway. So now, over here, I'm going to use my really cool Extra Life 20 D20 dice. If you don't know what Extra Life is, I highly recommend you look it up. It's a great charity that's all about gaming and helping sick kids at Children's Miracle Network hospitals across the country. So, taking 4 commander damage, if I can find the 4 on this thing. Apparently, there it is. So, boom, 4 and 4. All right, that's all Squirrels can do right now. Pass turn. Okay, deck, come on. Don't make me look bad. Give me land. That is not a land, guys. But I can do something, at least put some blockers up. So it's going to be Dragon Fodder. Create 2. Do I even have them? I do not have them. How foolish. So I'm going to use these cool Spider-Man dice to represent 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. So at least I have 2 blockers temporarily, although that's not going to help me with flyers, but it's something. Pass turn. So it's untap, upkeep, draw. No upkeep triggers, I believe. Draw the card. All right, so we're going to play a Rogue's Passage. Cool, we're getting lots of mana over here, so that is helpful. But I need some mirror, and I only have 1 mirror, which is a little annoying. But we're going to do the thing, so I'm going to tap him. Well, hang on a second. That would put us at a disadvantage. Nope, got it. Tapping for 1, 2, 3 to play Adaptive Automation. Or, I don't know, whatever. I can't speak today. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. I choose Mirror. It is now a mirror, in addition to its other types. Other creatures I control of the chosen type get +1/+1. This is what the deck's about. It's supposed to be playing a bunch of little mirror, beef them all up with all kinds of different artifact or colorless creature buffs, and then none of them really have trample, but it's like now I supposedly have like 6 5/5s. You know, you swing in and crush a bunch of small creatures and get some damage through. That's kind of what this deck is about. It's nothing supposed to be fancy or weird. So, he's getting +1/+1, but I do want to try and do the exile, the imprint. So I'm going to go ahead and swipe the old Pine Unicorn. So now, on my next turn, a Mirror Welder can tap for 1 of any color. Can't do anything else right now, or can I? You know what? That's not a bad idea. I'm going to go ahead and tap 2 and tap Tomb of the Spirit Dragon. Tomb of the Spirit Dragon. And gain 1 life for each colorless creature I control, which is 2. So I'm going to go ahead and gain 2 life, up to 41. And pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. No upkeep triggers. At least not yet. Okay, so this is not a land, but we're going to get some going here. So Seer's Lantern into Expedition map. Okay, so here's the thing. We have a Anchor to Aether, which puts target creature on top of its owner's library, scry 1. So we could do that over here to maybe slow that down a bit, right? Now you can get rid of Chatterfang, which would then put it back into the command zone, but that buff is still there, so that's still going to be 4 2/2s swinging out. But you don't know what he's got in his hand. He could start playing a whole bunch of more tokens and making more squirrels. So the question is, but if they're all little 1/1s, that might buy you some time. So I think, but at the same time, I actually really want to crack that Expedition map because I have a really good dragon in my hand that I would like to get out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would give me 6. The dragon is a 7-drop, so I still need to do that ramp. So I guess that can wait until the next turn. We'll try it. A blue, a red, and something else for Anchor to the Aether. Targeting Chatterfang. Put it back on the top of your library, and I scry one. You know what? See, that's another good dragon, but I don't have the mana, so I might as well put him at the bottom. And it's even higher. It's a 8-drop, so that's really going to be a while. So, okay. I can choose to put this back into the command zone. I'm going to grab a Shield, Agents of Shield dice to just denote that there is 2 extra mana if I want to play that again. So then I will go ahead and go to combat and swing 4 over here, dropping down to 31 and upping this to 9 commander damage. Not good. Again, with the whole not being able to find numbers, there it is, 9. So, all right, we're getting there. Pass turn. Now, once again, now you see I'm doing some interactions, which is good. You know, it's good to be like bouncing that, I'm destroying that, whatever. It is kind of slowing the entire game down, but then again, that's kind of how Magic is, right? So, untap, upkeep, draw. I'm going to go ahead and play a forest for turn. I'm going to tap a black to play Nested Shambler. When Nested Shambler dies, create X tapped 1/1 green squirrel tokens where X is Nested Shambler's power. Now, obviously, the ideal is to beef him up with counters or buffs and something like that, and then let him die, and then he makes a whole bunch of squirrels. I don't know that I really have anything that's going to buff up a zombie, other than I probably have like a Gaia's Anthem in here, which gives all green creatures plus, you know, 1, but he's black, so it's not even going to help all that much. Although, what, Gaia's Anthem might just be all your creatures, so it could still help. But what we are going to do is we're going to tap 3 and then 4 and 5 to recast our commander. Chatterfang, Squirrel General. Now, he is summoning sickness, so he really can't do much. And these are good to go. And they are still getting the buff. So, see? Was that really the good play? I guess not. I guess I should have just put Squirrel Sovereign back in the hand. But then, it's a 2-drop. Play it again. It's not, not that helpful. So, we're going to go ahead and turn the board. Because again, these 2 still are currently not too threatening. We can get them anytime we want. Dragons flying in the air, big deal. So I'm going to send 5 2/2s over here at Lindsay Lohan. Now, you know what? Well, again, what's the best action? What do you think? Let me know in the comments, because I'm either going to take 10 or I can take 8. And if I take 8, I'm losing Dragon Master Outcast. But 1, 2, 3, 4, if I crack that, that's 5. And if I got one, if I draw a land and crack that on the same turn, not next turn, but the turn after, this could start triggering. That's kind of close. Do I want to do that? But 10 damage is a lot. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to take the full 10. Go down to 24. It's not great. But that's all the Squirrels can do right now. We're going to go ahead and pass turn. Come on, Minsk and Boo. Stop making us look bad. Yay! A land, but it's tap land. Boo! So it comes in tapped, but at least we're going to be able to do stuff next turn, theoretically. But yeah, I still do not have anything that I can play right now. Very disheartening. Pass turn. These 2 poor decks are just kind of like sitting there looking at each other going, what is going on? While squirrels and dragons, natural enemies that they are, just start beating each other in the face. So, draw. Aha! Well, I do not believe I can play this yet, but this is a good one. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, wait, that's not right. That's total, that's not. I need 10 mana for what I've just drawn, which is Soul Scour. Destroy all non-artifact permanents. That'd be fantastic for this game. Wipe those 2 out, get them out of the threat zone, and then just sweep in. But knowing I have this is good. If I can just get a few more lands, I can let them beat the crap out of each other and kill each other, and then when they start to look at me, boom, wipe them out, and by then hopefully I'll have a bunch of Mir and or beefed up Mir. So that is good. And to that end, we're going to go ahead and tap a white and another white, and then 2 more. Yeah, I can't trigger that again. Well, I guess I could. So we're going to go ahead and do that for Tempered Steel. It's an enchantment. Artifact creatures I control get +2/+2. So now that's a 4/4, and this is a 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know, whatever, 4/8 or something. So then, just because we're going to tap Urza, and we're going to tap this for one other color of, let's say, white, because it doesn't really matter. Tapping Tomb of the Spirit Dragon to once again gain 1 life for each colorless creature I control. It's only 2, but hey, every bit of health counts. There's no point in trying to start making trouble with attacking right now. Even if I wanted to attack them, it's just going to draw the attention of the board. Like, why are you attacking him? He's only got 2 little goblins. Pass turn. So untap. Upkeep. Still no upkeep trigger just yet. So is it a land like we talked about? It is not. So that is not good. But we still need to get some stuff done here. So we're going to go ahead and tap 1 and tap 2, sacrificing Expedition Map to get a... now the nice thing is, search your library for a land card, reveal it, put it into your hand. That does not say basic, just says a land. So we can try and get something that's really good, or really good for this deck at least. Unfortunately, this is going to drag us down, and this is the kind of thing where I would edit, and I would, just jump cut right to whenever I have the land I want. Now, this is going to be a contender. Let's go look. I'm looking for a double land bouncer. That is not what they're called. That's just me being stupid, and that's just what I'm calling them right now. Basically, it's the lands that come in tapped, and you have to bounce a basic back to your hand, but that land, the land you played, taps for 2. I'm looking for the one that taps for a blue and a red and bounces a land back. I might not even have that in this deck, quite honestly. It depends on if I had enough of them whenever I was building the deck. And it's not looking super promising. Or it's the very last card. What is it? Nope, I might not have it. So we're going with Training Center, because it comes in tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents, which I do, so it comes in untapped. So that gives me 4 mana to play with right now. Gonna go ahead and shuffle these horrible penny sleeves real quick, because normally I don't even do this, but everyone always cringes and gets all upset whenever I shuffle cards, naked as it were, and just shuffle them old school. They're like, what are you doing? You're gonna ruin the cards. It's like, well, they're my cards, but whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to actually play the card I drew, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, to play Dark Steel Reactor. Now you may be saying, why is this in here? Because, why not? Again, like I said, not optimizing these things. I'm also trying to play for fun and play cards that I don't normally see and or have, because sometimes it's fun to win off of something that's a little goofy, or something that's not, everyone considers it not the best thing. It's not horrible, but it's like, yeah, there's better ways to win, so I always cut it for my decks kind of thing. Dark Steel Reactor is indestructible, so no one can blow it up by targeting it. At the beginning of my upkeep, I may put a charge counter on Dark Steel Reactor. When Dark Steel Reactor has 20 or more charge counters on it, you win the game. Now what that means is that's 20 turns. If it's going 20 turns, the game's really dragging and someone's not doing something right. You want to put that in something like a proliferate deck, where you can keep beefing it up along the way and speed that number up. But I put it in here just as kind of like a background noise. Hey, wow, this game's going long. Look, I win it. Why not, right? So we're going to combat. Gotta go. We're going swinging in 4 in the air at Squirrels. So 1 down to 30, another 3 goes to 27. And that's just how I do math. And then 9 is going up by 4, so up to 13. Let's see if there it is. Well, okay, I found 13 quicker than I thought I would. Pass turn. Untap. Untap all the Squirrels. and draw. Okay, so we're getting a lot of land. Not horrible, but not super helpful at this point. So I am going to then play, tap 1, 2, 3 for Beastmaster Ascension. Now this is a good card in this deck, or any token deck really that's green. It's an enchantment, stays on the board. It says whenever a creature I control attacks, put a quest counter on Beastmaster's Ascension. As long as it has 7 or more quest counters on it, creatures I control get +5/+5. So I'm going to go grab a dice in preparation for said event. Now, at this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they're all ready to attack. 7 quest counters. Looks like Squirrels is about to go crazy. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to swing the board. Now, the idea, before you go stupid, is to think about the math. Every squirrel, except for this one, is getting well, this isn't even a squirrel. So, these are getting +1/+1. So these are 2 2s, 4 4. But once this triggers, they're also going to get 5. So squirrels are going to get 6 6. These are 7 7s currently. Well, they will be 7 7s. And then this is going to be a 9 9. This one's going to be a 7 7. And this is going to be a 6 6. You have 24 health and only 1 blocker. Now these do not have trample, which sucks. But, got to work with what you have. So, these are 7 7s. So, all 4 of them, if they get through, that's 21 damage. This guy goes in, let's say that's going to be another 7. So this would be lethal, but you have a blocker, and these do not have trample. Which means I have to send 1 more creature in. So, I will send all 6 of these at you, and Chatterfang is going to have to start looking at other places. And you've got a bunch of land and 2 creatures, but one of them is tapped. So I'm going to swing Chatterfang at you. Now, answer check. Does anybody have any answers? Regrettably, this Mince and Boo does not, because all the cards in my hand either require 2 colors or 1 of each, and I still only have 1 available. Dragons, where's your answers? I do have an instant. Well, that's not really going to help. This would be great in response to his board wipe. It's March of the Swirling Mists. It's 1 and then a bunch of X, and then for every, in addition to cost to cast a spell, you may exile any number of blue cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way, essentially meaning that every time you exile a blue card, that counts as, 2 on the X. So up to X target creatures phase out. So I could, pay a blue, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana that I could basically phase out 5 creatures. And then if I wanted to show that, I could even do 6. Yeah, and it's just creatures. It's not even like phasing out these things or anything. Not that that would necessarily matter. But yeah, so this would be great for a response to that, but nothing about this giant mass of squirrels coming at me. How about this? Haha. Curses. See, look at this. I've had this for a couple turns now. Swords to Plowshares. Perfect thing to do onto Squirrel Sovereign at this point to at least take away 1 point of damage. But I do not have any open mana right now. So that's the only instant I have, but it wouldn't matter anyway. So okay, damage has to go. Yeah, I block your Squirrel Sovereign with my 1/1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 7. That is more than 24. So boom, no, kaboosh. Dragons is dead. We got my 3, 8, 9, 9 commander coming at you. This dude is a 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. That's pretty solid. But not gonna do much. So the question is, that's 9 commander damage. I really shouldn't take that much, because another buff or anything like that, one more hit, I'm dead. But that's a really good, well, it's only buffing by 1, I suppose. So, yep, throw this in front of the Chatterfang bus over there. Chitter, chatter, bang, smash. Thankfully, he's got no trample, and I don't have any force, so that's all that happens. Okay. Holy crap, guys. See? That's not bad. Like, my concern is, at this point, yeah, Squirrels did pretty decent right now, especially with Beastmaster coming in. I still feel it should have more Squirrels out, because that's kind of the point. And there's every card I could find that generates Squirrel tokens or buffs Squirrels or is a Squirrel is in this deck. Except for, like, I guess if there was one that was, like, super expensive. And then also, just FYI, this is designed to be a Squirrel mutate deck. Because, again, I don't optimize. I like to try and do weird things. So I like the mutate mechanic, so I put a bunch of mutate creatures in here in the idea that in a situation like this, maybe I can't attack because everyone else has a good board state. I can start mutating these Squirrels, giving them bigger base power and toughness and some sort of effect, like on mutation, I gain life, or when this creature mutates, blow up target permanent opponent controls. You know, because it's something you don't necessarily expect from the Squirrels deck. Everyone just expects a crap ton of Squirrels. So it's not doing exactly what I want, but clearly it's not. It's poised and ready to win this match. We'll see what happens. Pass turn. I don't think any kind of craziness is going to happen that alters things right now. So yeah. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I mean, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, which is great and all. No, that's not going to help. That's not going to help. And as we said, I mean, we kind of have to at this point, so we're just going to go ahead and tap red, blue, green, blue. 1 for red, 1 for green, and then 2 others to go ahead and play the commander at least once, which then creates Boo creature token, and we're going to go ahead and +1 mince up to 4, thereby giving the booster a boost up to, with 3+1/+1 counters. He is now a 4/4 with Trampoline and Hasty. At this point, there's no point in holding back because everyone's about to get wrecked. So we're going to go ahead and swing out because he's got haste. So 4, 5, 6 aimed right at you. So 6 damage, dropping you down to 21. This commander damage is no longer valid because he's dead, but you now have 4 damage from that command. No, you don't, because Boo is not a commander damage type of thing. Wah, wah. Okay, that was at least, you went out swinging, Mince and Boo. That was a solid hit. Pass turn. It's all up to you, Mir. We ain't doing nothing. Yeah, I noticed that. Draw a card. It is a land, though, so I will play said land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is not enough. That is not 10, you'll notice. That is 2 less than 10. So awesome board wipe is not something that can happen right now. And really, Swords to Plowshares is almost useless because, pardon me, it's, you know, I would need to blow up. I need enchantment removal is what I need to get rid of Beastmaster's Ascension. Oh, speaking of which, Beastmaster's Ascension should have 7 counters on it, just so people could see at a glance, ah, yes, that thing is active. Yeah, nothing I have is really super helpful. So I might as well just play stuff, because why not? We're going to go white, red, and then 2 others to play Glory of Warfare. So as long as it's my turn, creatures I control get +2/+0. As long as it's someone else's turn, they get +0/+2. Then I'm going to go ahead and play 1, 2, can I? Yes, I can. 1, 2, 3 for Icon of Ancestry. I'm going to choose Mirror. So creatures of the chosen type get +1/+1. So I'm going to put that basically right here. So this is the buff right now. This one lone mirror is getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 currently. So it's a 6 something. But as soon as it goes away from my turn, that's going to lower a little bit. And yeah, I'm pretty sure, well, depends on what comes next. But regrettably, that's all I got, guys. Pass to Squirrels. I'm a-going to win. Shut up. Stop being arrogant. Untap. Upkeep. I don't believe there's any upkeep triggers of any kind. Draw a card. Going to play a forest. Then we're going to tap 2 forests. I only need 1 forest, but 2 mana to play Chatter's Storm. Sorcery. Create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. Oh, yes, I see. Well, it also has Storm, which is important because it says when you cast this spell, copy it for each spell you've cast before it this turn. Regrettably, I do not have. I have a Haze of Pollen, which is a fog spell to like block if someone was attacking me. So I can't really cast that yet. So Chatterstorm's just going to make 1 squirrel token, which because of my commander will be 2 squirrel tokens. So these 2 squirrel tokens are Summoning Sickness. And then, just to keep things simple visually, I have 4 of those squirrels that are okay to attack. So again, no point in not doing it, right? We're going to swing out. That, of course, will put another 4, 5, 6, 7 quest counters on this, but that is irrelevant. It's just definitely online. So, you've only got 1 blocking creature, but you got 43 life. You are smacking me, though. You have not. Now, here comes the quandary. It's like, he can keep, that's going to beef up. Boo is going to be another 3 damage. That will be 7 more commander damage off of the... Oh, I used that dice by accident. Right, so here is the... Yeah, I grabbed that by accident. I think it was up there. So that's 4 damage from Boo. That's about to be 12. If he survives again, it could actually get close to killing me. Whereas you are not doing anything and your commander's not even out yet. So, yeah, I gotta swing over this way. And you are at 39 life, which is slightly easier to kill. So, just swinging the whole board. We could try and do the math and see if maybe one of these creatures can go over there, but it's like, who the hell cares? So, 4 1/1s. These are 1/1s. So, oy vey. Triggers with the whole stings and paying attention. I hates it. Okay. 5, 6, 7. So these are 4 7/7s. That is a 5, 8, 9. It's 9. And then we've got 2 plus 5 is 7. So actually that's right, because that buff, so these are all the same, essentially. These ones right here are all 7/7s. So that's 5 7/7s plus, oh my gosh, plus a 9/9 plus a 6/6. Let's see. 3 is 21, 28, 35. So 35 from those bad boys. Plus 9, which is essentially 10, so that's 45, 44. That's 44 damage. That's enough, not even counting these. No, not even counting him. So, but you're going to block the big dude. No trample. So, we said that's 35, 36. Well, 35, 5 is 40, 41. Aha! It is not lethal. Unless I'm doing the math wrong, go ahead and tell me in the comments if I did. But who cares? So, swing. Yeah, I'm going to block that thing with that. Unfortunately, these are going to be destroyed. Oh, and actually, this came off of that because he was dead, so that should have gone anyway. I wasn't using it, thankfully. But, again, triggers, paying attention. So, yeah. Block it. 41 damage goes through. Cool. I am currently at 2 life over there. This game's about to be over, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you guys can hear me good. I mean, the camera is basically on the same level as my head here, so hopefully it's picking it up well enough. All right, pass turn. We're going over here. Boom, boom, game winner. That is, oh, now you're giving me lands. Cool, thanks. Rockfall Vale comes in tapped, but untaps because, nope. Or would I do it? Yes, I still have 2 opponents, so it does untap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana to play with. That is untapped. 6 mana. Those are huge spells. That does not help that. That is a big thing. And you know what? That wouldn't really do much over there. Wow, that's not going to matter much. Okay, so not helpful. We're going to go ahead and +1 that to put another 3 counters on you. So you are now a 7/7. I guess we can tap for a green and, well... interesting. Will that actually affect things? We're going to go and try that. We're going to go red, and one other to play Goblin Offensive. Oops, and then tap these ones for 3. So putting 3 red Goblin tokens onto the battlefield. We got some more extra life dice, which is really awesome. So we're going to put those for 1, 2, and then the last one will be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle dice. So we're going to put that down. So there's our 3 new guys. So now we got 5 blockers. You don't have trample. This might actually be something to help. And now you do have blockers here. He has trample, however. Now it boils down to one of those things where it's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 creatures. I can block 5 or 6. But at this point, I really think you need to be aggressive with Boo, because that's kind of your only chance. I keep forgetting that is not commander damage. So that isn't going to make that much of a difference. I mean, it keeps going up. Yes, 7. No, can't do that either. Bummer. But we can do that. Okay, here's what we're going to do, guys. I know. Gosh, just waste our time. Sorry, but we're going to go to combat. We are going to swing a 7/7 with trample at you. Okay, you know what? I got a lot of damage on board. I'm not too scared. I'm going to go ahead because these are... yeah, stupid. Very stupid. It's not an on-attack buff. They're just getting +5/+5. So that's not even... Let me walk you through it, guys. What I was thinking was, okay, I swing with Boo. He's got trample. He gets through the little 1/1s, gets a little damage in. Main phase 2, well, nope, can't do that anyway. Man, see what I'm saying? This is Unskilled Commander at its finest, guys. So I was thinking, use his really cool ability of -2, destroy it, deal direct damage to, this player's face, and then draw 6 cards, which could hopefully draw me an answer. However, I already +1 him to get him to 6. I can't do it again. So there's no point in attacking, because it's not going to get through. One of these would destroy it. And so there's no real point. Unfortunate. Going to go ahead and pass turn to Mir. What kind of last-ditch miracle can Mir pull out? Spoiler alert, I'm guessing none. Draw a card. Okay, yep, it is a Razor-Tide Bridge. Indestructible. Artifact land comes in tapped. Taps for a blue and a white. That's awesome. But it's a little bit too late. Because we still, even if it didn't come in tapped, we do not have enough with the board wipe. Now what I can do is I can sit on the Swords to Plowshares, waiting for the attack, and just Plowshare out either, I guess, Squirrel Sovereign, just to lower everyone's attack by 1. I'll still die, but that would help that character. And at this point, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, there's nothing I can do, nothing Mir can do to win this game. Might as well give Mince and Boo a fighting chance. So pass turn. Squirrels comes back. Untap. Upkeep. This goes to 6 squirrels that are ready to fight. Draw. That's not my hand. This is my hand over here. Play a forest for turn, because why not? we're going to go ahead and tap a swamp to play Ravenous Squirrel. It's a 1/1, obviously getting a major buff from everywhere. It says whenever you sacrifice an artifact or creature, put a +1/+1 on Ravenous Squirrel. I can pay a green, a black, and 1 to sacrifice an artifact or creature. You gain 1 life and draw a card. Now, that would be decent if things were a little sketchy, right? If I was in a bad situation where I'm maintaining and I have a couple leeways where I can get rid of some squirrels, you pay that, sacrifice a couple squirrels to gain 1 or 2 life, but you're drawing cards. Card draw is extremely important, especially mid-late game. However, it's all about numbers at this point, and I have the game on board, I believe, on deck or whatever you want to call it. So, rinse and repeat, essentially. Now, you've got nothing. I'm going to go ahead and send Nestled Shambler, who is just a zombie, and he's just a 6/6. That's going to kill you. I'm going to send everything else at you, not the commander. For those of you that may not know, you can choose to direct damage, creature damage at a planeswalker or the player. Obviously, right now I want to go with the player because this is a lot of damage. There's no point in worrying about that if I can get through. And, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus that. Yeah, I could play it again and get another boo my very next turn. So it's not like it's going to slow me down too much. So, okay. All the craziness with the math. Now, none of these guys have trample. So, 6 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, those are going to block up to 5 of those. Now, this is a 1/1, 2/2, 5, 7/7. So, Mince is a 7/7. It would kill one of those squirrels, but Mince and Boo would die. And the only thing I'm thinking of is that if I can minus on my next turn, sacrificing Boo, dealing 6 damage to so-and-so's face, and drawing 6 cards, there might be some sort of board wipe answer in there, although I doubt it. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not even sure if there's a board wipe in. That's the thing, it's like board wipes, there's a lot of different board wipes in a lot of different colors. They should be in every deck. You really should put at least 1 or 2 board wipes in for these kind of situations. But at the same time, if your deck is not designed to go a long term, maybe you don't need it. So it's not like it's a guaranteed you have to have 10 board wipes or 10 this and that. It's just board wipes count as answers. I'm trying to build my deck so that they have at least 10 cards that count as answers. Blow up or exile target creature, board wipe, counter spells, the Swords to Plowshares, those kind of answers. Destroy artifacts, destroy enchantments. You want a little spattering of all of that in your decks. 10, maybe 15 of the cards, I guess. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What is your sweet spot number for answers in a deck of any color? Let us know. Talk about it in the comments. Again, I don't think anyone's actually going to be doing that, but whatever. So, okay. We're definitely blocking 5 of these. So these dudes are all going to die. One of these gets through. That was going over there. You're dead. Well, hang on. Yes, interesting. Now, here's an interesting quandary. Things go in order of table order. Okay, so I declare attackers, 1 on you, the rest on you. It is now priority moves to Mince and Boo. Do you have any answers? I do not, and because I do not have any answers to it, it goes to them. So, I do have an answer, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to tap for a white. I'm going to Swords to Plowshare your Squirrel Sovereign. So that just means it exiles it, and its controller gains life equal to its power. Now that is bad in the sense that 2 plus 5, I now gain 7 life, so now this character's up to 28. But it got rid of the buff, so now these are all down to 6 6s, which means I can, in fact, block one of these squirrels with Boo. Because they're now 6 6s and he is a 7 7. So as long as that order of operation was there, I'm going to blow up one of the, well, not blow up, I'm going to destroy one of those throughout combat damage. The Squirrel Sovereign doesn't connect, so now all I have to worry about is a 8/8 commander which is now not getting the extra buff. So I am taking 8 commander damage from him. But I survive. Oops, I do take 8 damage though, so that is down to 31. Did I miss? Did I not take actual damage? No, this is the first time Squirrels has attacked Mince and Boo. So I think we're okay. So he's still actually pretty good. 31, 28, poor little 2. And that was his last defiance. Nested Shambler's hits. Oh god, no. The mirror and the team. So, that side of the board is completely dead. It's all down to these 2. So, I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. Cool, we untap. No upkeep triggers, draw. More of that. And that is not, it's artifact destruction, not the needed enchantment destruction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana to play with. Excuse me. It's because I'm talking and my throat's drying out. I'll have to get a sip of water in a second here. But I don't believe I really have anything of too much note. But you know what? I'm going to play this because blockers. Tap for Findhorn Elf. A 1/1 that just taps for 1 forest. But hey, it's an extra blocker, which might buy me enough time to do something. So, now, this is getting the buff still. So this is a 6/6. Has no other effects. He is a 7/7 with trample. Every little bit helps, so you might as well. So we're going to combat. We're going to go ahead and swing Boo 7/7 at you. Now over here, I could let it go through because it's only one, because, it's just 1 damage. It's not going to matter too much, 6 or 7. I could just let it go through. But the thing is, I'm not going to worry about this effect. At this point, it's either going to, this is it. I should be able to win on my next turn, most likely. Why worry about it? So I'll block, blow it up. Oh, see, then again, no. My apologies. Because it's just going to stop one of the 7, it's not even worth it. So let all 7 through. I take 7 damage. I'm down to 21. Bink. Okay, so then, main phase 2, we're going to go ahead and subtract 2 from Mince down to 3. We're going to go ahead and sacrifice Boo. Fling it at your face. So another 7 damage. That's 26, that's 14. We are down to 14. That is close. It's getting there. But the good thing is, I now draw 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my god, do you see that there is no land in this at all? That is horrifying. Okay, so we got some Cranko, that's not bad. We got some mana ramp. Exile target artifact or land. Still artifact, not enchantment. See? Right now. So Mince and Boo, I'm seeing a deficiency in enchantment removal. But not everybody plays enchantment. So you gotta start wondering. It's like, well, if you try and plan for everything, your deck's not gonna do anything. Because you're gonna have 15 million cards that all do one. Okay, I got 3 cards that destroy enchantments and 3 cards that destroy artifacts and 3. Well, that's cool, but that's out of 99 cards. The likelihood that you're going to see those cards is kind of irrelevant. You're not going to see it. That's why when I'm trying to build something, my idea is that it has to be 10 cards that do a specific task. 10 cards that are designed for mana ramp of some kind. 10 artifacts that are mana rocks. 10 cards that are answers. 10 cards that do the theme of the deck minimum. That should be more like 20 cards, really. But you see what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't have 10 cards for enchantment removal and 10 cards for artifact removal and 10 cards. Your deck won't have anything. Because then you'll just sit there with all kinds of these cards that you're not going to need. Because someone you go up against people that don't have enchantments, cool, now you've got 3 cards in your hand that deal with enchantments and they're wasting space. So it's a balancing act of what you want to do. So right now, what I'm thinking is I have enough to do 1 spell, really. So I'm thinking that if I do 1/2 in green to play Farhaven Elf, it's an extra blocker, and when I do, I search for a basic land, put it on the battlefield. So I found a mountain right off the bat. I'm just going to put that right on there. It does enter tapped. Shuffle said library real quick here. Okay, so now I have 2 mana. Oops, wait, what is? Uh-oh. Oh, because I drew a bunch of cards. Yes, yes. I was like, why do I have 2 hands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I will have to discard down quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those are super big. I could do that next turn, but we'll see. Okay, we're not at the end step just yet. He has been out, so I do technically have 3 mana. But that would lose me a blocker, and blockers, I think, right now are kind of important. Yeah, so I'm just going to do it because I have a play. I'm going to put Helix Pinnacle in here. It is an enchantment, Shroud. Put X tower counters on Helix Pinnacle. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 100 or more tower counters, you win the game. Similar to the, actually over there, the other thing. Just for fun, it's just a silly card to be in there that if I have nothing else I can do, I can just start dumping my mana into Helix Pinnacle and kind of maybe once it gets up past 50, people start to get a little shaky and worry about that instead of worrying about what else is going on. Okay, unfortunately, that is all I can do right now. So we're going to go ahead and pass. All right, we got 5 squirrels now. Well, technically 6 there. Draw. Now I only have, okay, see, not super helpful right now. I tap 2 for an Arcane Signet. Nothing about that's going to matter too much. Now, I could try and sacrifice a couple squirrels, or actually, better than that, I'm going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I win 1, 2, 3 rather, and sacrifice this Arcane Signet I just played to draw a card and gain life because I don't need mana right now. Okay. Okay. That's interesting because that's going to be a thing. So, I do not have the mana for it right now because its mutate cost is actually higher than its regular cost, which is interesting. Normally, mutate costs are cheaper. So at this point, does that matter though? Actually, you know what? Again, playing for speed, I think I'm going to go ahead and just tap 2 black and 2 other to play Dirge Bat normally. It is a 3/3 flying flash. Doesn't have haste, but next time it'll be an 8/8 in the air. There's no reach. There's no flyers. That's going to do some serious damage next turn. There's no point in worrying because its mutate effect was just destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. Yeah, I could have destroyed Boo or Mince and Boo, whichever one of the 2 I wanted to, but it's like, who cares? I can just fly right over and smack for 8. Okay, so now I also have a blocker next turn if that becomes an issue. So we're going to go ahead and just keep pounding away because it's really the only way to win at this point. Well, the main and hopefully quickest way. I've got 5, 6, 7, 8 creatures that are attacking. Excuse me, I had to get a drink. So 8 creatures attacking. I can block 2 of the biggest. So I'm going to block Chatterfang clearly. And then the rest are all exactly the same. So I would block the Nested Shambler, let's say. So that leaves me with 6 6s that are going through. That is game. Right? Is my math wrong? I mean, we got yourselves, right? 6 times 4 is 24. Another 6 is 30. Oh, it's 30. 36, yes, duh. There were 6 of them, not 5. So, yes, 36 damage after blocking the 2 biggest I can. I am at 31 life. Boom. Smash, crash, bang. Squirrels is your first Unskilled Commander winner. What'd you think? It didn't do too bad, but was it fast enough? Was it squirrely enough? No pun intended, or pun intended, who cares? But was it, as insane as squirrels should be. You know, I've heard the stories. It was only 6 squirrels on deck, tokens-wise, at any one point. So it did well, thanks to Beastmaster's Ascension, MVP of that particular game. Without that, things would have went a lot different and probably a little bit longer. But all right, so this was fun. But, I mean, seriously, I'm not just trying to be stupid and be like, ew, this was so fun, smash the like and blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. This was good. This was cool to play it. Hopefully it wasn't too crazy long. And, you know, it gets so far, match 1 of this roundup. Squirrels isn't too bad. Dragons had potential, but then it stalled out a little bit because I didn't get the mana. Mince and Boo definitely stalled out on mana, but that could just be mana screwed. That's not necessarily deficit on the deck. It needs to be played some more to continue and see if that's a constant effect. Mirror was great on lands, but I didn't get any Mirror. I only got like 2. And I have a bunch of Mirror in here. The bulk of the creatures, like almost all the creatures are Mirror for the most part. So, again, it needs more playthroughs. So, FYI, the way this is going to work is I'm going to play 3 games like this back to back. I'm not going to post them back to back because while watching me play games in general is probably not like the most thrilling, and I'm trying to make it a little interesting. The point is, I don't think you want to watch the same decks 3 times in a row, even if different things happen. But again, that's something to discuss as this goes on, if actually people watch it and comment or like or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and post twice a week. The first match of the week, which will probably be launched on around Monday or Tuesday, is going to be a new match. And then the second match of the week is going to be a follow-up match. So this is match 1 of these 4 decks. Roughly 4 to 5 weeks from now, you will see match 2 of these decks. Then, like 4 weeks after that, you'll see match 3 of these decks. But also, you'll be seeing other matchups of completely different decks, 4 completely other decks. And I will stagger them in that way so that you're seeing different content, different matchups, different combos every week. But you also get to see, okay, not every week because of what I just said, but you get the gist, I think. You know, so you can come back and be like, here's match 2 of our Squirrel Dragon Mirror token deck. What happens second time around? Does anybody else do anything good, or does Squirrels just stomp again? We'll see. But I'd like to really thank you guys, if you actually watched, if there's anyone out there for this. If you are watching, thanks a lot, guys. I'm not the best player. I'm trying to be better. I'm not trying to be the best. But I'm just trying to learn and have some fun, be a little goofy. And if you're on, enjoying the ride, awesome. If not, I get it. You guys have a really good day. Thanks for watching.